Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I am an internationally trained chef who loves homely comfort food, and today we're putting two icons head to head: Nigerian jollof rice versus Italian risotto. Let's cook them side by side. We will be starting off with the Nigerian jollof rice, which has a fairy base that combines tomatoes, onions, pepper, and scotch bonnet. These vegetables are blended into a smooth paste, as you will see in the video. Into my blender, I put in these vegetables and I add no water to it. The juice of the tomatoes will aid in blending the other ingredients that I've added into that blender. This paste, after being blended, is cooked in a pot until it is reduced to a thick paste, as you will also see in this video. While our tomato base is reducing, please ensure to check that it's not getting burnt. Next up, we'll be chopping up our vegetables for our jollof rice and risotto. We'll be using the white onions for our risotto, and we'll be using our red onions for our jollof rice. We'll be using some mushrooms as well for our risotto. I did not put it in the video, but I chopped the mushroom into duxelles of mushroom. Here you will see these are all the ingredients that we'll be using for our jollof rice. Our long grain rice, our tomato base that have been reduced, our chopped red onions also that would use to fry this base, bay leaf, curry powder, thyme, tomato paste, onions and tomatoes for garnish, as well as our chicken stock. Then our risotto will be using short grain rice, as I do not have arborio rice, which is the traditional rice the Italians use for the risotto. I'm also using some saffron as well in this risotto. Using some mushroom. Those are mushrooms that have been chopped into small sizes, duxelles of mushrooms, and then we also have sliced mushrooms that we'll be using later in the video as toppings for our food. And then this is our white onions that have been chopped in brunoise, and this is our chicken stock, and then our white wine, Sauvignon Blanc, that is my choice of wine today, and then our cheese, spring onions, and that's basically it that we'll be using for that risotto. Here I sauteed our mushrooms, and then I added oil into our pan for risotto and also oil for our jollof rice. Into the risotto pan, I added the white onions and allowed it to saute till it's fragrant and translucent. Ensure to stir to give even cooking. And into our pot of oil for jollof, I added the red onions. I would also allow this to saute until it's fragrant and translucent. Also at this point, I'll be adding my herbs and spices. I'm adding curry powder, thyme, as well as some bay leaf. Stir this together and allow to saute, allow to fry for a bit until fragrant. Then into this mixture we'll be adding a tomato paste. I'm using just one sachet of tomato paste, and I have like five cup of rice. So I'll be adding that, and then I'll stir this and allow this to fry to cook out the acidity of that tomatoes. Into our sauteed white onions for our risotto, I've added short grain rice that was unwashed, and I will tell you why it was unwashed. You allow this to toast until the rice becomes a little bit, brown in color. Once we have gotten it to be toasted in color, we'll disglaze our pan with a bottle of our Sauvignon Blanc white wine. And then as soon as that wine cooks out, we'll begin to add our stock little by little. You will see that as we keep going in the video. To this pan, I've added my saffron. I've added the saffron. Saffron is a herb as well. It gives color and an earthy taste to risotto. Here we've started adding our stock, and then you have to continuously turn your risotto. You have to continuously turn the risotto. Back to our jollof paste. We're adding our tomato paste to it, our blended tomato paste that I have boiled down and has thickened up. And then we'll allow this to fry. When we mix it now, you see that everything combines together. There is the oil inside, you can't see it. It's not floating. But we're going to allow this fry down to the point where we can now see our oil come up a little bit. Back to our risotto. We're still stirring. I have added stock. At this point, I have added stock over and over again. And then you keep stirring continuously. The reason why we're stirring is to activate the starch in it, and to develop the starch in the rice. We need to keep stirring till it feels like it is sticky rice, a sticky paste, a sticky kind of liquidy paste. It's not dried compared to jollof rice. It's not going to be dried compared to jollof rice. It will still have some moisture in it. Back to our tomatoes, you can see some oil on the side. It's still in the frying process. You can see that some oil has come up a little bit in our tomato paste. Into this our tomato, we'll be adding our washed white rice. This is a longer grain rice compared to the rice we use for our risotto. We'll be adding our rice to this, and the reason why I add my rice at this point is because I just want to, and then I do it under a slow heat. I slowly toast this rice in this tomato paste to toast the rice, as well as ensure that the rice also absorbs the taste of the flavor of the tomato. Yes, it absorbs the flavor of the tomato, because I'm going to cover this up with a foil and then allow it to slowly toast before I go into the next step. I'll be adding some seasoning cubes to this paste, and then I'll just give a stir, incorporate it, ensure that the seasoning cube has been incorporated properly. Then I'll go with my butter. I'll add my butter, and then this would help to slow toast the rice. The rice has toasted for a bit. It has been toasted for a bit, and at this point I'll be adding my if you can see the rice. I'll be adding my chicken stock at this point to our rice. I'm going to mix, stir, sure that the stock has spread evenly in our pot. And then I'm going to I'll go ahead and add more stock, because it's not enough. Go ahead and add more stock, and then I would cover with a foil paper to trap in steam, and then on medium heat I would cook my jollof rice. At this point I am checking. There's still, we still have water in it. You can see the oil has come up above jollof. Back to our risotto, we're still stirring. I've added a pinch of salt to it, some black peppers as well, and then stir. Keep stirring, continuously stirring to develop the starch. I've added sauteed mushrooms, the duxelle of mushrooms that was shown earlier. I've added it at this point, and it would release its flavor into our risotto. We'll keep stirring and stirring and stirring at this point. I've added some cheese to our risotto as well. I added some cheese to our risotto, and I'm still cooking this down and still stirring. Our risotto is like 80% ready, almost 80% ready. It's almost 80% ready. Our risotto is ready at this point. You can see this is what we're looking for. It has developed starchiness. They have come together. It doesn't get more dry than this. This is exactly the consistency we are looking for in the risotto. At this point, you can serve it like this and grate some more cheese on it, and serve it what we like. Back to our jollof rice. Our jollof rice at this point is also almost like 90% ready. You turn to ensure that you have even contribution of heat. You have to keep stirring as well, but we don't stir as much as we stir the risotto. At this point, I'm also going to add our tomatoes and onions that I have sliced for garnish. We are getting to the final part of our jollof rice, so I've added the tomatoes and the onions. I'm going to cover it again and allow this to cook for a few more minutes before we bring it down. These are the proteins we'll be using for our risotto and our jollof rice: a chicken breast and a chicken lap. I have seasoned it with green peppers, a blend of green peppers, spring onions, chili pepper, and olive oil, some onion powder I've added, and then some water, and I added risi, as you can see, seasoning, and a bit of salt. I'm going to blend these together, and then I'm just going to use it to marinate our chicken. This marinade was made before we started the rice, before we started cooking the rice. We're cooking, jollof rice and risotto. But I went ahead to add the protein that we'll be using. So after the marinating, I placed the chicken on a grill, and then I grilled it over the stove top till brown. After this, I added it into a pan and then into the oven to finish cooking. That's it, our risotto is done. So at this point, we are plating our risotto. That's our mushroom saffron risotto, and then we're using our chicken breast for the risotto. So you can see, chicken is cooked to perfection. It is very cooked. I'll be adding the mushrooms. Those mushrooms I said I will be using earlier in the video. That's our mushroom topping, and I had some spring onions oil, that I've added to our plate. At this point, I am supposed to have added some cheese, grated some cheese, but it escaped me. But I did add it later. It wasn't recorded. That is just cucumber that I have brined and just placed on the plate for something fresh. Back to our jollof rice. At this point, our jollof rice was ready. We're just mixing and getting ready to plate our jollof rice. This was what our jollof rice looked like after we have plated. We had it with some salad and some fried plantain. This is how Nigerians would normally have their jollof rice, with some salad and fried plantain traditionally. So here is our risotto and our jollof rice placed side by side. Team risotto or team jollof? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like and share.